Hello everyone, welcome back to another long-awaited episode of the Matured Mind series. If you aren't familiar with this series, it was essentially created to help those who want to achieve more in all aspects of their own lives. How to affirm your mind into a more determined and positive way of thinking. Each of these episodes are constructed delicately, meaning that one episode will not make sense without the other. So I suggest viewing the previous episodes before intaking any of the information found in this video to ensure that you can accurately take the information and be able to confidently apply it to your own life without confusion. Negativity control. I try my best to avoid making any examples or annotations about myself within this series because I feel like it makes the series lose its generalized touch, essentially meaning that I don't want people to feel as if, because of what I do, as well as the occupations and career, that it can only be applied to that. But as much as I do try to avoid that, sometimes it must come through to ensure that a clear understanding is given and to allow for a more, sometimes rare relation. The topic of negativity is a very broad within its scope. When you hear the word negativity, it can mean so many things: negative actions, negative feelings, negative results. But today I'm going to speak about negative thoughts. I'm going to elaborate on this in a way that you never may heard before. Negative thinking is based off of reality. This means that you begin to think negatively after something negative happens. If you won the lottery for $50 million, I can assure you, not a single negative thought will cross your mind. But let's say that your computer just broke. You'll begin to think negatively, and that kind of reaction is humane and normal. There's an informal phrase that goes, "keep that same energy." Although this phrase is only typically used in confrontational events, it can be applied here as well. This means that when something gives off a certain type of energy, you will retaliate with the same. So once again, if your computer breaks, that is negative energy. There is nothing positive about your computer breaking in a general manner. Therefore, you're going to give back the same energy. You'll become upset. Being upset is negative energy. Now that you have a brief understanding on how negativity actually erupts, allow me to inform you about a strategy I stumbled upon myself. Many of you already know that I am a competitive Fortnite player. For those of you who play Fortnite, you know how mentally frustrating the game can be, even if playing at a casual level. Now, at a competitive level, regardless of what others may think, the mental stress is 10 times more difficult. The reason I mention regardless of what others may think is because some people sincerely believe that being a competitive Fortnite player is not that mentally challenging, nor more challenging than playing the game casually, which in my opinion is a ludicrous standpoint. With that out of the way, I found a very beneficial way to avoid negative thinking. I notice that when I'm upset or angry and I'm thinking of so many negative things that just pile on top of each other, it leads to inefficiency, making bad decisions, or sometimes giving up. Now, it is going to sound very simple and straightforward, and that's just because it is, but its execution is a lot harder. Don't think about negativity. Yep, that's it. Whenever negative thoughts cross your mind, you need to block them off. The only way to do this is to be extremely aware of how you are thinking. That's where the difficulty comes in. You may not realize it, but you think a lot. You think about so many things in a matter of seconds. That's why it can be very easy to let negativity slip because of how much you are thinking. When you have negative thoughts, you need to catch them and cut the thoughts off. In the beginning, those negative thoughts that were just cut off are going to come back in a new form almost immediately. For example, if your computer broke and you have a negative thought in your mind along the lines of, "Perfect, I swear this shit only happens to me." If you were able to successfully cut off that thought, it will come back in another form immediately, like, "I swear to God, I'm going to chuck this computer if it doesn't start working." Those two thoughts are both negative. But as you continue to cut off these negative thoughts, you'll begin to have less immediate thoughts after the fact. As well as that, you will also begin to be happier and less angry. You'll begin to think more clearly and make more rational decisions. You'll become more efficient and slowly begin thinking about solutions rather than your feelings. Begin to cut off negative thoughts to ensure your happiness. Lies. Everyone knows what a lie is. A lie is the opposite from the truth. A lot of people lie, but the worst type of lying is lying to yourself. Many people on the road to success lie to themselves to avoid a dissatisfaction or a certain result they don't want to see. A relatable example would be a competitive player for a video game. they will die in the game, and then in the heat of the moment, they'd blame it on something else like lag, or another opponent playing oddly, or any one of the millions of excuses that are out there. That is 100% fine. Everyone does that. But the difference is after the fact. Many people would actually believe what they have told themselves, or at least they would not investigate the matter. What this means is that they will truly believe that nothing that happened in any situation in their game experience is their fault. Therefore, they won't investigate for the truth or even attempt to find any errors. A lot of people do this in other career paths as well. Some business owners, when they fail, they would blame it on something like, oh, I don't live in the right area for this kind of stuff. The reason, most of the time, people lie to themselves after failure occurs is because they do not want to see the truth. They do not want to own up to the mistakes they have committed, and some have done these things for so long that they believe themselves. Now, I think this is something very important to mention. If something does not work out as planned, and refusing to see anything as an error on your behalf is normal for the time being, in the heat of the moment, meaning within the moment, but if these instances are not reviewed or at least acknowledged in an open-minded standpoint, there is a problem. So if a competitive player dies, makes an excuse, and continues with his life, that is an issue. Versus a competitive gamer that dies, makes an excuse, and later revises their occurrence is not an issue. This form of thinking is almost like mental illness. How could anyone think they're so perfect that everything negative that happens upon them is not of their fault? Ladies and gentlemen, if you do these things within your career, be more open-minded during or after the fact. Don't leave your excuses behind because they will build up on you. It will literally brainwash you into thinking that nothing is your fault and it cannot be your fault. It can also begin to show your character as a person and begin to turn you into something that no one should be. I would like for all of you to send me a video of you dictating your struggles and limitations to be featured here in this series. I believe this will give the viewers a more interactive feeling, and seeing a real face can help them realize that we are all human. Feel free to DM those videos on Twitter or Instagram at Christonio. Please let me know of any changes that you would like to see. Also, if there is something with the video's visual or sound quality that can be changed as well. Most importantly, let me know how this series is helping you and if there's anything that I can do to allow the information to flow inside of your mind easier. Thank you all so much for watching. I truly appreciate your constant support, and I wish you all the best on your journeys to success. Have a great day, and I'll see you all later. Adios.